Scilly's then my colleague David Westhoff will fly us across there, 15 minutes he tells me. Nice and smooth en route, but do please get your seatbelts fastened. And so we park the aircraft in St Mary's and turn off seatbelt signs. On this aircraft, 2 emergency doors at the rear, left and right, 2 emergency hatchways here, left and right. We do have life checkers under the seats. And so it's nice and smooth, but do please get your seatbelts fastened. Yeah. Enjoy the trip.
Thank you very much.
View from our window looking over to the harbour and the Scilly. Fancy going on a bus then?
Wow, it's only £2, isn't it?
Come on then. Just stand there. He'll be off in a minute.
Having dinner.
Eh?
Oh, I know. Old car. I've seen it.
Yeah, we're going in that.
Oh, right. Oh, excellent. Fantastic.
It says ask the driver.
Bit of research work. That would bring you to St Mary's,
yes.
and then if it's serious, they call in the helicopter.
Yes.
Now the other big change, since you were here first, is the lifeboat. Because the lifeboat used to fit into the lifeboat house
Right.
and went down the slipway
That's
with
right.
the crew on
That's
board.
right, yeah.
Yes.
And then, let me say 35 years ago, if somebody wants to argue with it, I don't, it's in that order of time anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
They changed and they went over to a boat similar to this, but not as big.
Right.
But they keep a boat in the lifeboat house about 18 foot long, which is the boarding boat, which takes the crew out of that one and then off they go.
The other one, yeah.
And just a bit earlier than this time last year, there was a major tragedy here.
Really?
The yachts out there, they pay a small amount relative to the value of the boats to have safe anchorage, showers, toilets, fuel, etc.
Yes.
But to save a few quid, some of them will anchor on the other side of the island.
Yeah.
And probably June last year, the lifeboat was called out because they were in trouble. They were drifting onto the rocks. And the lifeboat was towing them off, and one of the steel wires broke loose and literally cut off the foot of one of the lifeboat crew.
Oh dear.
And then he had to have the rest of the below the knee amputated.
Oh, how awful.
All to save a few pounds.
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
It was actually renovated about 5 years ago. The proper name is Urakri Isles.
Yes.
And for some strange reason, they had a more Northern English year than ever.
Strange, isn't it?
And they'll grow pretty well there now.
Yeah.
They'll die off. They probably won't flower there again for another 15 20 years. Now, for a big building, that is an amazing dock there.
What's it called? Has it got a name?
Don't have a name.
No.
But it's balanced on the bottom on 3 little points.
Yeah.
You can see
It's
right the way
amazing.
through.
Oh, yes.
More of them up there, you see.
Yeah. Which part of the island is this now?
Pretty well on the northeast.
Not much farther, is it?
Not quite. Port Ellic is a bit further round. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one's earmarked. That's Christmas Day.
Obviously seen you before.
Hello, Jemima. Going back to the Island Parish programme.
Well, he pulled up in Old Town, gave us a bit of a talk, went to start the car again, and the car wouldn't start. So he'd got a battery in the back, a brand new battery, so we all got out, he lifted up the floor, put the new battery in, and off we went again. 7th of September. Well, that was of course our wedding anniversary, 50 years. So we went to the Tregarthen's Hotel in Hewtown. We'd wanted to eat there for a long time and we weren't disappointed.
Sorry?
Where are we going?
To St Agnes.
Good. Glad you know. We arrived in St Agnes and walked up past the Turk's Head, which is a super pub and a great place to have a pint and something to eat with a super view. On up the hill we go past the lighthouse. It's St Agnes Lighthouse. It's now a residence, which is a super place to live, I would think. 1680 it was built and it's 74 feet high. These beautiful flowers are in a cafe garden which unfortunately wasn't open. I went all round the place and couldn't find anybody. Everything open. Still, these were Red Angel's trumpets. Oh, we went on round the corner and what did we find? A snowman. Never expected to see that. Here we are at the Coast Guard's CAF. Beautiful views of Bishop Rock and all the islands around. As we walked on, we came to Troytown Farm and they make absolutely fantastic ice cream there. Well, we had to collect some, didn't we? And went on to this lovely place. Beautiful view and one of the most beautiful campsites I've ever seen.
Just got to point out the safety equipment we carry before we go any further, just so you know. We've got a 37-man life raft on the stern. Buoyant apparatus forward and aft, plus we've got life jackets as well in the large box just aft amidships. Okay then folks, here we go, back to St Mary's, so the other day on St Agnes. You may notice in the middle of the boat we've got a connecting bucket there for the Cornwall air ambulance for our custom few pennies every year. We normally manage anywhere between £3,500 in the summer months. Very good quality, one of the first air ambulance anywhere in the British Isles, and this one is still funded entirely by donations from the general public, so it's the likes of you that keeps it running. I think does a good job in Cornwall, does a good service to the islands as well.
Yes, we hired a golf cart. That was great, especially because Cynthia can't walk all that far these days. Anyway, I'd driven all the way down about 250 miles from the Midlands to St Just in Cornwall. Caught a plane over there. And when I got there, they said, "No, I'm sorry, sir, you can't drive it. You're over 70. So I had to sit in the passenger seat. Great. Then we came across the Crick Dew Gardens. That's how it's pronounced, apparently. It was developed in 1987 by a couple of local Salonians, and the volunteers keep it up to scratch, and it's very, very well worth a visit. After the gardens, we went on to the Longstone Calf for a nice cup of tea. We've been there several times before. This marks the spot where Sir Admiral Sir Cloudesley Shovel was washed ashore in 1707 after the wreck of his ship, the HMS Association. Several other ships were lost out in the bay as well, but this is where he was washed up. Sir Cloudesley apparently was washed ashore still alive, but a local woman, spying an emerald ring on his finger, killed him and took the ring. Apparently years later, on her deathbed, she confessed that she'd taken the ring from Sir Cloudesley's hand. We usually do a walk when we're on the Scillys. This year, of course, I had to do it on my own. So we got the bus to the top end of the island. It was £2 whether you went 100 yards or the whole way round the island, so I got off at the top end. Cynthia carried on round and I started my walk. These little stalls pop up all over the island. They've got an honesty box and you help yourself and put your money in the honesty box and away you go. Flowers, grocery, vegetables, all sorts of things. This little path as it leads down into Palestry Bay. This is one of my favourite bays on Scilly and it's an absolutely super place to have your lunch. And this is the exact place I had my lunch. I could sit here for hours, it's just glorious. Well, from Palestry Bay, it's just a short walk to the airfield and the footpath goes right across the end of the main runway. And all the notices warning you to beware of aircraft. Well, this is where I started my walk. It's where the green dot is at the top, and I followed the blue line round to Old Town, just past the airfield, and then up over the hill and down into Newtown, back home. We went on the bus. Cynthia went all the way round, and I got off at the top, there where the green dot is. Great day. Well, after such an enjoyable day, we sat and watched the sunset from our window, and then went down the road to the Atlantic Hotel for a well-earned pint. Just about to get on one of the boats that goes to St Martin's. Just looking at this cruise ship and this small yacht, although it's a beautiful thing. Going past. We're going to get a boat down there and go on over that way towards St Martin's. Busy harbour. Just going up on the Osprey. Got a smile over here, look. Long time since we've done this. Sat at the Seven Stones Inn. It's quite a nice view out towards St Mary's.
Thank you very much. Yes, please.
Yeah, lovely view from St Martin's, isn't it?
Fantastic.
Pity the sun's not really out, it's still nice. This is St Martin's. Very special view. Look over to the far side, you can see the day mark, orange and white, looking out pretty well mid-water, I think. Beautiful. We're waiting for the boat to go back to St Mary's. Well, the time eventually came for us to leave this beautiful place. I'd always do it with a tear in my eye. Here's to the next time. This, of course, was when the world was in black and white. In 1974 we had a great time with Leslie and Michael Vine and their daughter Julia. We were there, Cynthia, me, Kirsty and Virginia. I think Virginia was learning to take pictures, all a bit wonky. Virginia made a little friend. This was obviously a squashing time for Julia. Me and my cigar before I knew better. In the Mermaid, Red Drum Bar, and the great Fred Molyneux, pianist. He played the piano like Les Dawson. In 1834, Augustus Smith left Hertfordshire and took up residence on the Isles of Scilly as Lord Proprietor and leaseholder of all the islands. He chose to live on Tresco and selected a site adjacent to St Nicholas Priory, which had fallen into disrepair in the 16th century. This is where he built Tresco Abbey. The famous Tresco Abbey Gardens was established by Augustus Smith in the 19th century around the ruins of the Benedictine Abbey. Today the garden is home to plants from across the world's Mediterranean climate zones. Brazil, New Zealand, Burma, South Africa, and it's absolutely splendid. This is what they call the Valhalla. It's a lot of figureheads that have been lost off ships that have been wrecked on the rocks. The figureheads have been recovered and they've been put here in a sort of museum. Very interesting.